Say hello to the Skoda Elroq. It's the Enyaq's little brother, as it were. And this is it in its top of the range SportLine specification. Now, the overall package is slightly shorter. It's 161 millimeters shorter than an Enyaq. But as you'll see when we show you on the inside, there's very little compromise. You really don't lose out anything in terms of interior space. The design, let's talk about the design. Well, being the Sportline version, you get a lot of high gloss materials on the sides here, but the front is really the distinctive bit of the Elroq. It's got that whole new face that the company is rolling out. You'll see it across the front here. This is what Skoda's designers call its tech deck. So you've got these daytime running lights here, the main lower beams in here. So this is your high beams, your matrix LED headlights are in here, and they've got a nice dark inlay. So actually when they're not on, they kind of do blend in. You can imagine this in a darker color, they really would be quite subtle. But you've got this high gloss finish, which is across all the different versions, not just on the Sportline, but you do get the Skoda wordmark here on the front rather than the original logo. It's now the Skoda wordmark, and on Sportline versions it's in a high gloss black. Also, same with the lower portion of the bumper here as well, and you get this kind of nice blocky mesh like design here as well on the lower for small bit of air intake that it needs. But overall it's a very distinctive face, really does stand out on the road. And one little tidbit of information: if your car doesn't have the LED matrix headlights, all of this is one solid light bar. So you see when there's a gap, that means to tell you that this car is equipped with matrix LED headlights. The Sportline model also gets exclusive 20-inch alloy wheels and black detailing throughout, such as this vent on the side. The door mirrors are also in a contrasting high gloss black, as is all the window surrounds and the B-pillars. The Sportline only comes with the 60 and the 85 battery options. So that means you get 204 horsepower or 285 horsepower in terms of performance, and up to 175 kilowatt DC charging on the larger battery. So you'll be able to go from 10 to 80% in around about 28 minutes, which is plenty. Then on the back, you also have the Skoda wordmark spelled out in high gloss black and a Sportline badge here as well. The crystalline effect lights are similar to what we see on the larger Enyaq model as well. And the boot itself is pretty good. You get 470 litres of boot space here, and that increases to 1,580 if you fold down the 60-40 split folding rear seats. There's also a lot of practical features, such as a net on the bottom of the parcel shelf, so you can put your charging cable in there so it doesn't rattle around the boot when you're driving around. You can also add more things underneath here as well. There's a little bit of extra storage space in there. There's even an extra shelf here, which is again another of Skoda's simply clever things. So rather than having an empty space around where the wheel arch is, they've put in an extra shelf here. Handy if you want to drop in something there and utilize that 12-volt power socket. You've got a light. Of course, you have bag hooks as well. And hey, it's just full of those simply clever things, and that's what Skoda does. The interior of the Elroq carries the same kind of layout as what we've seen in the larger Enyaq, and has all the latest features that we've seen from Skoda. That includes a 13-inch touchscreen display. It's in a nice position, it's up nice and high, it's very easy to get at. But being sensible, there is still a lot of physical controls lower down as well. So you've got a bank of physical buttons here to get to various shortcuts within the infotainment system, such as your climate settings, drive assist, park assist functions. All that is there, very easy to get at and to reach. And on the bottom of the touchscreen, you always have things on display like your temperature, your heated seat functions, all the things you're probably going to typically use all the time while you're driving is right there. And you've got that haptic touch bar across the bottom for your volume control. You've still got a 5-inch display directly in front of you as well. It's a little bit more condensed, but it gives you all the relevant driving information, your speed, how much range you've got left, your power consumption, all that kind of stuff. So that's there. And you can have an augmented reality head-up display as well, which is great for your navigation, for example, and things like that. It gives you a very fancy looking way of showing you which way to turn next. The center console has a lot of storage around it too. So underneath there's plenty of space. You can put bulkier items, maybe small bags and things like that in there to keep them out of your way. You've got a wireless phone charger here as well, and it's at an angle, so that's better for keeping it on charge all the time. 2 cup holders, a deep enough storage bin, more storage underneath the center armrest, and a small rocker toggle here for going between forward and reverse gears. You've got nice sport seats. These again have a different look to the regular Elroq seats as well. They've got a nice kind of microfiber suede like material on them. They have a pretty good quality feel to them. They're not really sports seats in terms of figure hugging, but they do have a good bit of lower back support and side support here as well. But they still should be relatively comfortable over a longer journey. The seat base is a little bit firm, but not something I'm going to complain about initially until I go for a long drive in it. Nice kind of perforated leather steering wheel here, flat bottom of course, and you've got very simple physical controls here again. So you've nice easy layout for using these, and this kind of knurled toggle switch or roller on either side, and of course you get paddles on the back, which is good. So if you need to adjust the level of regen while you're driving, you can do that up and down, which is a nice thing. A lot of manufacturers tend to take that away and they just give you the option of one pedal driving or not, but I do think it's better to give you the option, so you have that with the Elroq as well. I also like this extra little small storage bin just on the side. Now let's have a look and see what it's like in the back. In the back, the really good thing about this is, although it's smaller than an Enyaq, it doesn't feel any smaller when you're sitting in it. Okay, I'm of average height, I'm about 5'9", but I've a ton of headroom. I've all the knee room I'd ever want. Even if I really slouch down, I've still got a ton of knee room here. I can actually fit my feet underneath the seat in front if I wanted to stretch out a little bit more. And I've still got a decent armrest, and could actually fit 3 people in here. This middle seat is actually quite wide for this kind of size of car. The outer seats are definitely more comfortable than the middle seat because this is really a bit of a firm base, but it's fine if you're going to in a bit of a pinch and you need to sit here. You've got 3-zone climate control available optionally on some models, and you can have heated outer rear seats. The outer rear seats also have ISOFIX points, and you can put one in on the front seat as well. If you don't want to use the middle seat, you can also pull down center armrest as usual. You've got cup holders there, and there's a hatch that you can open up to either reach into the boot or load through longer items. So really this feels pretty nice in here. The darker colors are a little bit different to the regular Elroq in terms of that quite bright interior that we've seen, but it's very much in keeping with the SportLine model, and SportLine has become really popular with people, especially in Ireland. It's one of the more popular trim specifications people choose, and for obvious reasons. It just has a nice look, nice quality feel to it inside. The little bit of grey stitching just gives it a little bit of a lift, and you see that as well on the back of the front seats here as well. And overall it's pretty nice to sit in here. So that's our first look at the Skoda Elroq SportLine. It's bound to be a really popular choice for people because the SportLine model just looks really good, but even the standard model is actually no bad looker by any stretch. In terms of value for money, well, it's going to be pretty competitive, and by the time you're seeing this video, the order books will have opened. If you want to know more about it, head over to our website. It's CompleteCar.ie. You'll find it linked in the description below, and it's a great resource for finding your next new car. And we would also love to hear your feedback. What do you think about the new look, the new face of Skoda? Get involved in the comments below and tell us what you think.